Hey y'all, and welcome back to Booksxbritt TV. I'm your host Britt, and today I wanted to do a book haul with you. So listen, I met one of my girlfriends about 2 weeks ago. We went to Painting with a Twist. It was really fun. I should have brought the picture here to show it to you. It was really fun. You know what? It was fun, but it kind of, it's COVID, so you have to keep your mask on, and you don't allow in small groups, which is fine. At least we get to actually go out and try to experience some things. But it was fun, but I cannot wait until things kind of get to a normal, to a little more normal, so that you don't have to keep on putting your mask on when you're walking around, and just different. Anywho, it was fun though for the most part. I really like the teacher. She's from Rhode Island, and she had the best accent ever. I love her accent. It was so cool. But anyway, yeah, my girlfriend, she know I like to read books, so she gave me some books. Now, I haven't read any of them yet, and I read one of the books that she gave me before as a child, so I think I'm gonna do another video, reading it at 30 versus 15 later. But yeah, I was really surprised because she knows I love reading books. We've been knowing each other since 2016, and she knows I like to read, but we've never discussed books or anything like that. So I was really surprised when she told me about reading, because girl, I talk about books all the time. But anywho, let's get started. The first one is Flyy Girl by Omar Tyree. Now, I read this book when I was in middle school, I believe, 8th grade, and I thought it was a real dope book, not full of sex, drugs, and stuff like that, but it was still a pretty fun book, and I wonder how I feel about reading it at 30. The back of it says, Tracy Ellison, a young knockout with tall hair and attitude, is living life as fast as she can. Motivated by the material world, she and her friends love and leave the young men. Motivated by the material world, she and her friends love and leave the young men who will do anything to get next to them. It's only when the world of gratuitous sex threatens heartbreak that Tracy begins to examine her life goals and her sexuality. Ooh-wee! But yeah, I think I'm gonna read this book and then do another a reaction to it at 30 right now. But I did like it though, initially upon reading it. This next one is by Joy King, and it's called Hooker to Housewife. Never read this either. Tyler Blake is the new it girl in Hollywood and dating one of the hottest directors in Tinseltown. Unfortunately, he is also married, and adding more drama to the mix is T-Rock. A controlling ex-flame from Tyler's past who has once again found a way into her life. Then, just when she believes her life can't get any more complicated, Tyler falls in love with Andre Jackson. He has it all: money, fame, movie star looks, and the kind of bad boy reputation that Tyler has vowed to stay away from. Andre also has Chantal Morgan, his long-term girlfriend and mother of his child, who is determined to go from hooker to housewife. But when Andre is cast opposite Tyler in the lead role of her new movie, Sparks Fly. However, Tyler may have finally met her match in Chantal Morgan, the femme fatale of all industry chicks. Oh, snap. I've never met a little girl named Tyler. So that's interesting. Tyler Blake. Shouldn't it be Blake Tyler? Anywho, this might be good. She said she liked it, so probably good. But I know this book here is called The Great Pretender by Millenia Black. When she gave me the book, she was like, girl, you're going to love this book. Let me see what it's about. But yeah, she was hyped about this book. It says, for 6 years, Reginald Brooks has pulled it off. As a polished, handsome, and charming marketing VP, he's experienced the joy of 2 families, raising 3 daughters, maintained 2 beautiful homes, and played the loving partner to 2 devoted women at the same time. His wife, Tracy, and his mistress, Renee. Though hundreds of miles apart, share a common fallacy. But once the secret is out, the ultimate deception unravels. Reginald's 2 worlds are about to collide, and as Tracy and Renee reveal secrets of their own, a war is waged, pitting husband against wife, lover against lover, friend against friend, and family against family in an explosive search for truth, the meaning of love and commitment, and the price of irresistible passion. Ooh, wee! Hey, I might start on this one first. Yeah, she was really excited about this book. I remember that. Whoa. Let's get on down. This one, oh, it's a Zane Presents book. It's called Double Dipping by Allison Hobbs. Okay, let's see. Let's see what she got going on. When Tyree and Shane Batista were 4 years old, they witnessed something that no child should ever be subjected to. In an act of confusion and terror, their mentally unstable mother was murdered. Oh my God. Right in front of them. Even though they are twins, Tyree and Shane grow into two very different young men. Tyree is the kind-hearted golden boy, while Shane is dark and brooding, angry and deceitful. After being placed in foster homes together, Shane is sent to a reform school for boys when they become teenagers. When they're reunited, Shane is hardly reformed and now has two shady sidekicks, Brick and Misty. Tyree has an unconventional yet stable home life, complete with a wife and child. Shane has no ambition and seems content to play the smart of a small-time gigolo. I'm sorry. And get by on the financial support of women who flock to him. Still, I'm sorry, y'all. Despite their stark differences, the brothers remain close. However, old habits die hard, and Shane is lured back out on the prowl. As he delves deeper into more infidelities and more danger, Shane relies on Tyree to supply his alibis and test the limits of unconditional love. With intensifying drama, Double Dipping is a riveting and absorbing story of one brother's love and another's betrayal. Oh, snap. Oh, check this out. Allison Hobbs is a graduate of Temple University. She has been featured, but she resides in Philadelphia. I just wanted to say that because quite a few of my favorite authors from like the 2000s to 2010s that I used to read a lot, they all went to like Temple University and lived in Philadelphia, and like almost all the stories were set in Philadelphia. So that's really interesting. See that? So I'm gonna read you that, Allison. You look like you got a little something going on in that. Okay, this one is called it's by Vickie M. Stringer, and it's called Dirty Red. Now, I've never read this book, but I know my mama was telling me about this book and said that she stopped reading it because there were so many sequels to it. So, let's get into it. In a scorching tale of love, lies, loss, and the indomitable spirit of a woman scorned, we meet Red in the midst of her game on the toilet of her boyfriend's apartment, faking a pregnancy. An 18-year-old expert at deception with provocative femininity. Red employs her dirty ways to win a closet full of Gucci bags, a deluxe condominium full of baby accessories, a new car, and a book deal. But when Red scams backfires and she winds up truly pregnant by her inmate ex-boyfriend Bacon, Red finds herself in more trouble than she's ever known. The drama unravels when Red's picture-perfect cons fall apart due to the power of surprisingly love. That's funny. I know my mama said that she did say that she liked the first two books. So I'm definitely going to read this and then decide if I want to continue on after that. And you know, it's funny. When I was growing up, I used to be like, oh, it's impossible. She's 18. She doesn't know that much or anything like that. But when I moved to Tampa and I was riding Greyhound to go visit my mom, I would meet like a lot of girls the same age as me, you know, 19 and 20. And they would be dancers, you know, strippers. And they would be my age. And I'd be like talking to them on the bus, and all of them would say they had been dancing for like 14, not 14, but since the age of 14 and 15. So for 4, 5, and 6 years at this point. And so when I would be talking to them, I'd be listening to them like, damn, so them urban fiction novels wasn't lying. You know, like some girls really do be exposed at a young age and be having, you know, the wisdom of a 35, 40-year-old woman. So I'm looking forward to reading this book. Yeah. So I can no longer say, oh, that's impossible. Okay. Why didn't I see this one? It's called, look y'all, it's called Friends, A Love Story. Angela Bassett and Courtney B. Vance with Hillary Beard. Oh, I love Angela Bassett, y'all. Like, she's from St. Petersburg. Hey, Florida. But I love her and Courtney B. Vance. They've always had like this this beautiful love story about them, and their careers has just been amazing to watch. You know, Angela Bassett has been everybody's mother, aunt, auntie, grandmother, favorite cousin, favorite sister at some point in the movie. And I'm looking forward to reading this. It says, what if you meet your future soulmate, but were too busy living in the here and now to realize you found the one? That's what happened when Courtney B. Vance met Angela Bassett. They ran for years as friends in the same small circles. They had some hits, but mostly misses with other partners, and they shared one spectacularly dreadful first date together. And then Courtney and Angela connected, experienced the up close and personal real life love story of this inspirational African American celebrity couple, learn how they navigate the fickle tides of fame while keeping their relationship fresh and true, see how they've carved a meaningful life together in spite of humble beginnings, family tragedy, and the ups and downs of stardom with love, faith, and determination. Wow. This sounds pretty good. I know they have a wonderful marriage. Of course, you don't idolize nobody marriages, but I know from what I read and when I see them together on, you know, doing their interviews together, they really respect one another, right? And you can tell they actually talk and listen to one another talk. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. Let me see what else it says on the inside. Out of the blue one night, Courtney asked me out. I was hoping his invitation was strictly on the friendship tip. People were always asking you if you wanted to hang out. The idea of hanging easy was cool. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. What have you been doing? When you hang out with that kind of energy, the feeling can be familiar and warm, gentle and easy. Nothing feels pressure. Since Courtney and I had gone to the same school, we knew all the same people and ran into each other occasionally. The idea of spending time with him was fine. Woo-hoo-hoo! So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this. I believe they both went to Yale School of Arts. Angela Bassett may have been like a junior or something like that when Courtney arrived at the school. You know, so yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this book, right? Yeah, she did a good job of reading that. So yeah, y'all, that's the story. I'm gonna try, because I'm trying to record during breaks to, you know, to be more consistent with things. So I'm gonna try to record again on my lunch break, and maybe I'll put that video to the back of this video, right? Because I want to talk to y'all. I did go ahead and read Sister Souljah's Life After Death. I'm not gonna lie, I read it on Kindle and I already got my money back. But I do want to do a video on that, but I don't want it to be a separate video. So I'm gonna try to come back and record during lunch and then upload this before I get off. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all in a second. Bye. Let's raid. Yeah, this song appropriate, y'all, because we could talk about Life After Death, the sequel to The Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Souljah. Make me your Aphrodite. That's what Winter thought Midnight was gonna do. Make me your enemy, your enemy, your enemy. I'm pulling up the synopsis so I can read it to you guys. Amazon tripping, so let me go to Goodreads or something to pull it up. Hey, are you ready for? Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. All right, you guys. So let's go ahead and talk about Life After Death by Sister Souljah. All right. So the synopsis read, and this is for Simon and Schuster. I don't know. Winter Santiago hits time served. Still stunning, still pretty, still bold, still loves her father more than any man in the world. Still got her hustle and high fashion flow. She's eager to pay back her enemies, rebuild her father's empire, reset his crown, and ultimately to snatch Midnight back into her life, no matter which bitch had him while she was locked up. But Winter is not the only one with revenge on her mind. Simone, Winter's young business partner and friend, is locked and loaded, and Winter is her target. Will she blow Winter's head off? Can Winter dodge the bullets? Or will at least one bullet blast Winter into another world? Either way, Winter is fearless. Hell is the same as any hood, and certainly the Brooklyn hood she grew up in. That's what Winter thinks. Excuse me. A heartwarming, heart-burning, passionate, sexual, comical, and completely original adventure is about to happen in real time. Raw, shocking, soulful, and shameless. True fans won't let Winter travel alone in this amazing journey. Child, Winter could have traveled without old Brittany, because this was not no amazing journey. Let me stop. But no, y'all. Tell y'all, I wasn't sure if I was going to read this book, like I said in my last video. And if I did, it was going to have to come out of the library because I just could see myself paying for it. But I ended up buying it on Kindle. And I read it twice. And I got my money back. I'm going to be honest with you. I got a refund back because I was like, I don't even want this book inside of my library, right? So, let me say, I think that Sister Souljah's writing should be classified, aside from No Disrespect, which was a memoir, and The Coldest Winter Ever, the Midnight Trilogy and Portia Santiago, Deeper Love Inside. I feel like those books should be classified, as goth and fantasy, right? I feel like those books should be near Anne Rice's, C.S. Lewis, the guy who wrote Chronicles of Narnia. I think that's his name. As well as, what's the other guy's name? He wrote American Psycho and Rules of Attraction. Hold up. Let me look him up. Just so y'all can look him up too and read his book. Oh, well, it's taking so long. But anyway, I think that her books, I don't think, aside from The Coldest Winter Ever, that she writes urban fiction or urban literature. And honestly, I think she does a disservice to her fans by continuing to write about the characters that, you know, many people grew to love. You know, Midnight and Portia, and she writes them in a different genre, but you know, she's capitalizing off the momentum of, not momentum, but she's capitalized off the love that the fans have for Winter and the people connected to her to write the stories. I feel like she should have just wrote original stories for the Midnight and Portia's A Deeper Love Inside, instead of using Portia and Midnight. That's my thing. And I feel like with Life After Death, that I don't really, of course it's Winter's the conclusion to, I don't even think it's going to be the conclusion of Winter's story, to be honest. Sorry if that's a spoiler, but I feel like the story would have been a lot more tolerable for me if it was just a brand new character that didn't have anything to do with Winter. And I'm gonna tell you why. So I was talking with another young lady, and we was talking about her books about No Disrespect. And we was talking, and you know, she had said she watched my video and that she felt the same. And so, you know, we was just chopping it up, talking about No Disrespect and The Coldest Winter Ever. And we both like said that we feel like Winter Santiago is based on a character from her No Disrespect book, or a friend of hers named Nikki. And in No Disrespect, Nikki was promiscuous, and I believe she had meaning Sister Souljah, like this guy she wanted to date, you know, he preferred Nikki because Nikki was very sexually free or fluid, whatever you have you. And that we feel like that's who Winter Santiago is based on, and that, you know, with the guys that Winter Santiago chose, like Midnight, and I can't think of the other guy's name in The Coldest Winter Ever, but you know, they wanted Sister Souljah. And I felt, and you know, we were saying that we feel like Sister Souljah was, in a way, she was writing Nikki, but making it seem like the guys that Nikki wanted her, instead of it being the opposite way around. And when I read, you know, Life After Death, I felt like everything that was happening to Winter was what Sister Souljah wanted to happen to the young girl Nikki from her from her No Disrespect book, right? And I could be wrong, but that's just my theory on it, right? So that's what I feel like. I feel like maybe she feel like Nikki, the things that Nikki did, she never received retribution for it, or she never like had to deal with any consequences, and that was her way of making sure that Nikki dealt with consequences. Again, I could be wrong. This is just Brittany talking, right? So anyway, y'all, so Life After Death is very reminiscent of Dante Alighieri, I think that's how to pronounce his name, Inferno. or it's more commonly called Dante's Inferno. And it's essentially a story of this guy who goes to hell, but he goes through purgatory, 9 stages of purgatory. And I forget all of them off the top of my head because I haven't read that book in years. But I know one was like violence and lust and wrath or something like that, almost like the 7 deadly sins. And that's essentially what Winter is doing, right? So, I mean, that's essentially what happens to Winter. You know, she gets out of prison, she's immediately shot, and, you know, she goes through all these stages of hell or whatever. I don't want to spoil it too much for y'all. But that's essentially what happens with Winter. My back is itching like mad. Right? And like I said, like, the book was an enjoyable read if you were to read it independent of The Coldest Winter Ever. I would say just read it, you know. It goes very well with the Midnight Trilogy and with Portia's story, but like just like those books didn't go well, you know, against The Coldest Winter Ever. Not to mean that they weren't written beautifully, you know. That's just how Life After Death was to me. And I was not really disturbed by the book, but I'm gonna say this because I'm sure that you guys have probably read it already in some reviews. I was kind of didn't like the fact, even though y'all know I don't like Winter, I kind of didn't like the fact that it was a lot of dirty minded religious overtones or all the spirituality that was going on in the book. But I didn't like the fact that every time Winter, you know, she participated in this particular act of sex, she turned into an animal, and she turned into the lowest of the lowest animals that we could think of, you know, like, you know, dog. Don't nobody like dogs like that. Well, people like dogs, but y'all know what I mean. Snakes and a rat. And then the last thing, I'm not gonna tell you what she turned into. So it was like she turned into the nastiest or the worst of the worst animal every time she had this particular style of sex. And then it has Winter like you know, having to come face to face with the children that she aborted. Yeah, that's a spoiler. So you remember in The Coldest Winter Ever how she got an abortion when she was with, because she didn't know, because the baby wasn't Bullet, but she got an abortion on while she was with Bullet. So while she's in purgatory, she comes face to face and discovers that she actually got rid of twins, which I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I feel like Sister Souljah just threw that in there because of, you know, her beliefs in religion. And I'm saying that because I feel like when she found out she was pregnant, they would have said they were twins. Now, I don't recollect them saying it was twins, but I feel like they would have told her that she was pregnant with twins and that she was aborting twins. You know what I mean? So I feel like she just put that in there. So they have her coming face to face with that, and you find out what happened to the little old lady that Winter hit upside the head for her Gucci shoes and money, which I think we all, you know, kind of can infer what happened to that lady from that point on, considering that Winter eventually went to prison. You know, karma don't play. But overall, I would say that the book was kind of disappointing in that we know from reading No Disrespect as well as from reading Midnight, because I'm going back to her old books, that's what I keep on referencing, that Sister Souljah, that she really loves the Islamic faith, and there is nothing wrong with that. And we know that she has very strong views on Black American women. And reading the book, it was kind of like, how would I describe it? Reading the book, you almost felt like if you were a Black American woman, you almost felt like you was reading like your sister or somebody being judged by a hypocrite. Yeah, that's what it kind of felt like. You know, it was a lot of sex shaming, of course, because every time Winter did a particular sex act, you know, she turns into an animal. A lot of homophobia. It was so much misogyny. It was a lot of judging in that book. And of course, you know, she's in purgatory, so of course she's going to be judging. But I don't know, it kind of felt like it just felt a little wrong. A lot of the things that went through. And mind you, y'all, I don't like Winter at all. I ain't never liked the little heifer. But just reading that book, I don't know. It wasn't it. It was a very difficult read. Like, it was a fun read because I was like just laughing at some of it. But it's like, damn, sister, you going in on old girl. Like, you going in. It's kind of like, I forget what term I heard before. But it's a term where even though you want to embarrass someone and you want to see them embarrassed, is that because they're always doing things to embarrass other people or harm other people, that when it finally happens to that person, you're like embarrassed for them and upset that the events have happened to them, no matter how much, you know, they embarrass you or annoy you. I forget the exact term that's called, but that's kind of what I was feeling like while reading this book. Like, damn, she ain't even deserve that. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about the book. Like I said, I don't think the book should be classified as urban fiction. I really agree with her on that. It should be more, you know, goth and fantasy, right? And what else I was gonna say about the book? Because I had a lot to say. I should have just recorded this video last week. Don't let people tell you that if you didn't understand like the messages that she was trying to convey, that, you know, you needed to think deeper or spiritually. I don't feel like that was the case. I feel like if you don't enjoy this book, that if you didn't like this book, or you didn't enjoy it or don't enjoy it in the future, that it's because you didn't really like read her. I think it's because, like I said, she marketed it as an urban fiction book or urban literature book, and that's not what she gave us. And I can say that a lot of us who read, we don't care if it's urban fiction or horror or anything like that, because we just like to read. Like, look at my bookshelf, right? So, but I think that, you know, if you're gonna write a fantasy book, you know, it should be classified as such, and you shouldn't be capitalizing or continuing writing about the same people, but you put it in a separate category, not giving us what we're kind of expecting. Like, it didn't need to be drugs and murder and sex and all that type of stuff, but I was expecting something different, because like what I thought was going to happen in the synopsis, you know, when she said that Simone, Winter's young business partner and friend, is locked and loaded and Winter is her target. I really thought that I was going to be reading a story interchanging between Winter and Simone. So we all know that Simone was upset at Winter for losing her baby, you know, 15, 20 years ago. And I was thinking that we were going to see, I was thinking that life after death was going to have a dual meaning. We was going to see Simone's breakdown from losing her child. You know, maybe, you know, we was going to read about Simone hearing a child play on a playground, hearing babies crying, you know, phantom cries from babies and stuff like that. And we was going to see the breakdown that Simone had after the death of her child, right? And then we were also going to see Winter going through what she was going through after Simone shot her. So that's what I was thinking that the book was going to be about. It was totally different than what I read. And that would have been so good, y'all, if we had been able to read about like Simone's breakdown. I really thought it was going to be Simone. I don't know. Maybe I'll write a fan fiction about it. I'm just glad I ain't going to do that, because another lady, what was her name? Amy Norton said she don't like when people rewrite her story so she could sell it better. But I ain't going to do that. But I'm just saying, I really thought that's something that we was going to deal with, you know, life after death. But overall, I wouldn't read it again or read it in the future. But, you know, I told my mama not to read it. But, you know, she doesn't like to read, she don't like to read nothing really. Like, she like to read just classics now. Classics and, you know, Toni Morrison and Alice Walker. That's what she loves to read now. So, you know, let me know y'all thoughts and comments. Like I said, I wasn't going to really give a chronological review of everything that happened. But overall, you know, I didn't really particularly like the book. That's why I don't want to do a separate review on the book. But drop down in the comments and let me know if you liked it. And if you didn't like it, what was your reasons why? And if, you know, and also, did you guys catch the symbolism behind the animals that she was turned into, and the fact that she gave birth to twins? Well, sorry, she would have given birth to twins, but you know, she got an abortion. I was catching everything she was saying, and I was still upset with it. But you know, drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about it. Also, y'all, whenever y'all get a chance, cause we're on this same vein about watching what you do, read God Bless the Child. I'm sorry, read God Help the Child by Toni Morrison as well. I read this book today, and it was so good. I might do a review on that next. But yeah, you guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.